Welcome to the core flow. I would invite you to come into seated position, and we can use a bolster the way I'm using it to sit on. And just for recording, I would mention that if you don't own bolster at home, if you're practicing at home, you can use to sit on the block or folded blanket. Then let us bring the hands on the knees and gently close the eyes. Set in a moment to admit the beginning of the practice, your presence in the space, in the studio, or if you're practicing at home. Just allow yourself to feel comfortable. It might take a moment or two to withdraw our mind from the constantly moving and changing environment and allow mind to be focused on breathing. So if you're noticing that the mind is still wandering, if you're finding that your breath is a bit of a shallow, force a couple of exhales to ground yourself. Allow your legs to become heavy to bring you to this sense of grounding, rooting into space, bringing you to the moment of practice. And then as we continue to take a breath through the nostrils in and breath through the nostrils out, start sending all your breath to the midsection of the torso. Allow your belly to become big. And then exhale, allow it to shrink. So notice that you're sending the air into the area below the top of the rib cage and not so much into the chest. So you shouldn't see how the chest expands, but you allow the balloon, imaginary balloon, inside the belly to expand, to stretch the belly, to press the rib cage to the side and to the back. And then just allow it to shrink slowly. We're very often practicing diaphragmatic breath lying on the floor, and it could be a bit of a challenge to breathe with the spine in a vertical position, our standing position. So I would like to introduce a bit more awareness on the diaphragmatic breath with the vertical spine. So we are in seated position. You might notice how your even lower abdomen engaged a little bit on your exhale. So when you want to force all the air out, you're noticing that in seated position, your lower abdomen muscles engage anything that is below the waist area, below the navel. So see if you can sense this area. We'll have here another 3 exhales. With the last one, allow your eyes to open and release your arms toward the edges of the bolster, and then just walk your right fingers on the mat as far as it feels comfortable for you, and drop your right ear toward the right shoulder, and then take the left arm up. So try to reach it up toward the ceiling, not so much above the head, but up, and just allow yourself to stretch all the left side of the body. You can turn the palm facing the front, and then maybe even press the palm slightly backward to add a bit of a stretch on the front of the chest. Taking another exhale, and then release and come up into the a neutral position. Take a moment here and then walk your left fingers away and then lift your right arm up, open the chest again, arm is reaching up, and you can press the palm backward a bit, opening the front of the chest, look up toward the ceiling as well. Keep your right hip grounded though, keep it heavy, and then release the right arm. And again, take a moment here, just use the sense of stretch, keep your torso tall, and then interlace the hands in front of the chest. Touch all the thumbs to the sternum, keep your elbows parallel, and let's twist to the right. So here will be a real twist of your thoracic spine because your hips are really locked in that position. So you can even bounce here, like a pulse here a little bit, like massaging the thoracic spine a bit. So this is the first twist maybe of a day, and it's a mindful twist. Maybe you twisted during the day, but it wasn't so mindful, so you're not sure where twist happening. And come back to the center. You can shake your arms if you would like, and let's bring them back here, and then let's twist to the left. First, just explore the range, and then from here, maybe a bit of a twist as well. And a couple of times, making sure hips and legs are really grounded. And let's return back to the center and let's release the arms. Okay, so let us come off the seated position. We're going to be using the bolster along the length of the mat, the way I'm having this. Let us first just keep it a little bit in front of your knee. So bring your hands on the sides of the bolster. We will not use it for the first movement. We'll go into the cat and dog stretch. So we had a spinal manipulation into the lateral flexion. Then we had some twist. And here we go into full range of flexion and extension. So allow yourself to connect the breath to the movement of the spine. And I want you again to feel how you are using the muscles around the waist area when you move. Engage the abdomen to get your spine all the way high toward the ceiling. And then stretch and lift the chin for the spinal extension. Go a couple of more maybe movements here. Make sure that you're moving your pelvis and you're aware of the movement of the pelvis here, and then come to the neutral position. And here today we're gonna right away challenge our core strength for balancing. So get your right shin on the bolster. So at home it could be folded blanket, and you would need to use the block. So you make sure that your ankle is free here. So you might want to engage the ankle later to kind of hug the bolster. Okay, so the right shin is here, your left hand is on the block, and right away you're lifting the left leg off the floor. So what happening today, instead of being with the right knee on the floor, we elevated and the surface is soft, right? So you need to engage your core and you need to engage your right glute even more. And I want you to experiment. You can have your right hand on the floor for now, and just experiment what happened when your toe is kind of pointed and your right leg is relaxed, and what happening when you hugging and engaging the right leg, and you definitely keep your left leg flexed here. So see how with the flexed right foot you engage in the glute and hamstring of the right leg, of supporting leg more, and use that to take the right arm off the floor and hold here. And I want you to, as you hold in this position, we're going to be holding a little bit longer. Notice how much you collapse into your left hand, how much you collapse into your left shoulder, and try to have it minimal, because I'm going to challenge you on the second set. So try to have it minimal on the left hand, use more of a core strength and the right leg to have more support. And let's release, okay? So let us go to the other side. So bring your left shin on the bolster. Have your right hand on the block. You can have a left hand on the floor for now. Set yourself here, lift your right leg, and before we're gonna take the left hand off the floor, just again engage and relax the left leg. So find how you engage in the glute, engage in the hamstring when you're flexing, and what's happening when you are releasing. You're noticing that you start shaking, like you're shaking on the bolster, right? You have less stability. And when you're ready, take your left arm off the floor, and I want you to notice how much pressure you have on the block with the right hand, and try to have it minimal. Try to find more and more core strength. Keep your leg in the air flexed, so you're using the leg as well. And keep your neck neutral, very good. And release, exhale. So let us now return back with the block under the left hand. And you already know how to set. Finding that you maybe are using a little bit of the right leg, hugging the bolster with the ankle. And this time I want you to bring just the tip of the fingers on the block, and then take your right arm up. So here right now you have support, just a minimal support of the left hand and a maximum support of the core muscles here to control the balance. And see if you can release the bolster as well with the right foot, and use just your right glute and the lower abdomen muscles to hold the balance. Holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You should feel burn in your right glute, yes? Okay, good. So let us go to the other side. So get your block here. So take time to settle for this position, because a lot of small things that I want you today to understand. So extending your right leg, taking this in the air. You might first just really hug the bolster with the left foot. Have your right hand just lightly, so just the tip of the fingers on the block. Take your left arm parallel to the floor and start finding stability. Focus where you're receiving the stability here, and see if you maybe can unhug the bolster with the left foot, keeping the right foot flexed. Holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's release. So let us have a block on the sides of the mat. Let's release the bolster in front of the mat for the next use when we need it. And let us take the toes together, knees apart, come into child pose. Exhale here, and feel a bit of a stretch in the glutes. Feel the stretch in the lower back. Be active in your child pose. Walk your fingers away. Exhale, and then lift your torso slightly up. Tuck your toes and come to the downward dog. So play with the distance between the feet. Experiment how far you need to put your feet away from the hands. Drop the head between the arms. Bend your knees as much as you need for now, and focus more on elongation of the spine. Press there. Knuckle of the index finger and the thumb firm to the mat. Stabilize your wrists, and then when you're ready, look forward and walk to the front of the mat. Set your feet hip distance and just hang here, relax the torso, and then very slowly roll up into the standing position. Exhale, taking the breath. So let us work a little bit on the fold forward today. So finding your creases of the hips, and get yourself into this half fold with a neutral spine. Have your hands aware you can reach above the knees, below the knees, on the knees. And I want you to roll slightly from heels to the toes a couple of times to get the position where you distribute in the way equally. So you're not locking your knees, and I'll not bring the body weight to the heels, because when you lock your knees, very often we at the same time we are rounding through the lower back. So getting the knees in a bit of a soft position, maintaining neutral spine, make your neck neutral, hold the belly in. So you don't want to extend here. You want to be in a neutral position. So those lower abdomen muscles are working here to support the spine here. You feel again your legs, and then try to bring your arms on the both sides of the hip. So it might be challenging if you have some restrictions in your shoulders. I would suggest to lift your torso a little bit higher then and maintain. So it's like you half into the chair pose, half into the fold forward, and then from here press your heels and come into standing position. Exhale and bring your arms on the sides of the hips. Take a breath. So let us use this knowledge to go through the sun salutation with this active fold forward. With inhale, lift the arms up. Make sure you're in a neutral spine position. Hinging from the hips, coming into half fold. So hands are somewhere on the knees, maybe below the knees, a little bit neutral spine. And then from here, you start bringing your torso over the legs, all the way down into passive fold. Exhale. Then you might touch the floor and step your left foot back. And this is not the wide lunge. You bring your left knee down to the floor. So you're coming into the 90, what I call 90 lunge. Neutral spine. And just maintain here the neutral position. Take your forearms into the cactus pose and just press them back. So try not to extend through the lower back. Work only in external rotation of the shoulders, maintaining neutral position. So you feel that you're working here much more than if you're just holding the arm, because you need to resist from the abdomen muscles into this movement of the shoulders. Then bring the hands on the floor, tuck the left toes, and step into downward dog. Exhale, long spine. So our stretch for the shoulders might help you to release a bit of the shoulders. So you dropping the chest toward the floor. And then let's drop the knees down to the floor and step in the left foot forward. So again, 90-90 position. Maintain the neutral spine. You already know how to work with the glute to stabilize the pelvis, taking the forearms into 90 position and press them down. And as they press your forearms down, make sure that you're not extending, you're not letting the ribs to come forward. You're engaging the abdomen muscles here. You're all controlling your torso position. And then bring the hands to the floor, tap the right toes, and step into downward dog. Exhale. Long spine. Let's have one more exhale. And let's drop the knees down to the floor. Reset your hands if you need to be in a tabletop position. Stabilize your shoulders. And then have your toes tucked and lift the knees off the floor for 1 inch. Maintain a neutral position. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees down to the floor. Maybe you need to step your hands forward a bit and come to the downward dog. Exhale. Long spine. And then look forward and walk to the front of the mat. Set your feet hip distance. Drop the head. And then slide your hands somewhere to the knees, below the knees. Come again into the fold forward. Neutral spine. And then lift your arms for a moment over the head and then lift the torso up. Inhale. And let's exhale. Bring the arms on both sides of the hips. Taking the breath. Let's flow one more time. Inhale. Lift the arms up. Exhale, folding halfway into the hip hinge, neutral spine. Then maybe touch the floor if you need. Step your left foot down, back, and this time you're not dropping the knee down. You're coming into the lunge position. Bring your hands on the hips and take a moment here to ground yourself, making sure that the knee looks straight forward. Take your arms overhead this time, palms facing each other. And I would like you to play with your knee. I'm gonna come to the camera as well and you see me better. So you are moving the knee from the left to the right. But To be able to control the balance, you need to work with the back leg and you need to be very engaged with your core. Good. Come back to the center, hands on the floor, and step into the downward dog. Exhale, long spine. On next exhale, drop the knees down to the floor. Again, we're going to practice this beast pose, pressing the floor, lifting the knees off the floor, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees down to the floor. Maybe stepping the hands forward again. Come into the downward dog. Exhale. Step in the right foot somewhere closer to the midline and step in the left foot forward into lunge. Bring the hands on the hips, lifting the torso up. And then when you're ready, lift your arms up. So maintain your knees straight, use the back leg, and we're going to experiment again, moving the knee in and out. So what I'm trying to teach you here, that support comes from the back leg and the front knee is for balance only. And also in the warrior, we work on the core strength, because without core strength, without engagement here, you probably will fall. Bring the hands on the floor, come into downward dog. Exhale, long spine. On next inhale, look forward, walk to the front of the mat, set your feet hip distance, slide your hands somewhere toward the knees, come into the hip hinge, and this time let's come into the chair pose with the arms in front, relax shoulders. In the chair pose, your body weight comes slightly toward the heels, you send in your seat bones back, but you maintain a neutral spine. So very often in chair pose, we're coming into this. Right, so you want to maintain neutral spine. So you're in control of your pelvis, and then from the heels, reach up, exhale, and let's release the arms on the sides of the hips. Okay, let's challenge our balance more. So let's have a bolster this way. And we're going to step the right foot on the bolster. So at home for this one, you want to have a pillow or folded blanket going to work as well. I'm going to come into the lunge. So go as wide lunge as it feels comfortable for you. You right away will find unstable front knee. And that's where you need to work with the back leg. And that's where you need to work with the core muscle. So you might bring your arms in front, or if you feel comfortable, you can take them overhead. And keep grounding your big toe. Yes, when you ground in your big toe, you engage in your inner thigh, you're finding more engagement of the lower abdomen. See how all that comes from the lower body to support the upper body. Keep breathing. Release the arms and release the position. Shake your legs. Let's go other leg. So step your left foot on the bolster or some support that is soft and unstable. Take your right leg back. Keep your knee 90 degrees. If you're comfortable, take your arms up. And focus on pressing the big toe, the left big toe to the bolster. So the stability, the balance for us start from the foot, ankle, knee, hip, core. So it's all work together to help us to maintain the balance. Today we're challenging our balance by using uneven surface. And ankle stability is the first thing that we need to control and to work on. And I know you're tired, release your arms and shake your legs. Okay, let us again move the bolster back to the front of the mat. Come into the standing pose and let's go to another flow. With inhale, lift the arms up. Hinging from the hips, coming into half fold, hands on the shins, neutral spine. Touch the floor and step the left foot back into a nice and long lunge. And stabilize your right foot, the front foot. Stabilize your right knee. Lift the torso up, interlace the fingers. Bring the thumb to the sternum and then twist to the right. Again, we're adding a little bit on instability here. as we're twisting, and we need to create support for the upper body from a strong leg. And return back to the center. Bring the hands to the floor and step into the downward dog. Exhale, long spine. Taking the breath. And then let us practice the left leg lunge. Step your left foot forward. Try to be wide as it feels right for you. Lift the torso up, interlace the hands, control the front knee. Don't let the knee to fall in. Maintain it straight forward. Interlace the fingers, twist to the left. And find your back leg and find your core and keep your shoulders relaxed and keep your face relaxed. And breathe, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return back to the center. Bring the hands on the floor and step into downward dog. Exhale. Long spine. Let's hold this downward dog for several breaths. And then on inhale, let's drop the knees down to the floor. Reset your hands to be under the shoulders. Have your strong shoulders, and then let us tuck the toes and lift the knees off the floor. So you're in a neutral spine here, and then you extend the right leg and extend your left leg into the plank. And as you come to the plank, immediately tuck the tailbone, engage your glutes, and like pulling the belly in. So it's like you want to be slightly rounded in your lower back. Push, 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 hold. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the knees down to the floor. Come all the way down. Exhale. Bring the hands under the forehead. And just take a moment to catch your breath. And then keep your feet a little bit apart. And when you're ready, point the toes and lift both legs off the floor. Keeping the neck relaxed. Keeping the forehead down. And find your glutes again. Keep your belly button pulling in. So you want to support your lower back here. And let's exhale down. Let us take the hands on the sides of the rib cage for traditional cobra roll. The shoulders back. This time maybe your feet are slightly closer, like a hip distance. Keep your strong legs. Lift the chest off the floor, having a very light touch of the hands to the mat, and then press the chin down. Press yourself into the cat stretch. Tuck your toes. Exhale. Come into the downward dog. Long spine. And then look forward and walk to the front of the mat. Set your feet hip distance. Slide your hands somewhere below or above the knees. Neutral spine. And let's again come to the chair pose. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From the heels, press up. Inhale. Exhale. Release the arms on the sides of the hips. Okay, let us again take the bolster. Let's put it this way. Let's come into triangle pose. So you're going to be facing the right wall. So the right foot is on the, like that. So right foot is out. Left foot is parallel to the edge of the mat or slightly in. And let us move the hips toward the back of the mat and come into the fold here. And just check how you feel. And then from here, let us extend the right arm parallel to the floor. Long spine, and let's take the left arm up toward the ceiling. And try to find where the center of that, how you're distributing the weight to hold the balance. What happened in your front leg? Don't lock your knee. Have a knee just like kind of a soft edge. Lift the left arm up, reaching with the right arm to the front, and then release the arms. Exhale. Let us move the bolster to the back of the mat. Step your left foot to the bolster. Step your right foot for triangle distance. Make sure the right foot is at least parallel or slightly in. And from here, from the hip hinge, fold forward. Then extend your left arm and take your right arm up. And check if you're not extending here too much. And don't lock your front knee. And especially in this position, we want to lock the front knee. So get yourself here on a neutral, reaching, pressing the hip toward the back, reaching with the left arm forward. And let's exhale and release. Let us again bring the bolster to the right. And this time we're coming into the warrior two position. Bringing the right knee 90 degrees, setting the hips as much as parallel as whatever feels from the left hip comfortable, and take your arms to the side. And let's here bring the right arm forward. So start bringing the body weight to the right leg, and like you're going forward, 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 reaching. And now return back to the center, and then go back, back, back as much as you can. Control your front knee. And let's again move forward, 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 forward. And then come center, and then go back as far as you can. And then come again, as much forward as you can. And then return back to the center and get yourself centered here. When you're ready, bring your gaze to the right palm. Find how you engage in the glutes to maintain the balance. Your ankle is slightly unstable here. Again, your inner thigh is working really hard to control your knee. Release the arms and release the right foot. From the bolster, let's bring the bolster to the left. Step it. Get the distance for the warrior two. Bend the front knee. And when you're ready, take your arms parallel to the floor. And let's again have this a bit of a flow with the left arm going back. Feel how you are bringing most of your weight to the front knee, and then move back. Try to find the back leg. Move the arm parallel, and then again through the center, go to the left as far as you can go. Come back to the center, go to the right, and return through the center again as far, like someone is pulling your left arm forward. And then come to the center and just be aware of both sides, both legs working. Your spine is tall, and only then when you found the center, when you're finding your glutes are helping to maintain the pelvis stability, you bring your gaze to the left middle finger, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the arms. Carefully release your left foot. And we're going to be still facing the wall. We will bring the bolster. It doesn't matter. You can be this way. And set your feet wide. And bring your left hand exactly to the center under your chest. So make sure that the bolster is not between your feet. But if you have a space to elongate through the spine, bring your right hand to your lower back and gently twist to the right. Your knees are slightly soft. And then unfold, bring your right hand exactly to the center. Bring the left hand to the lower back, reach forward with the crown of the head. So make sure that the crown of the head is aligned with your right hand, and twist to the left. And let's unfold. And here you're welcome to bring for your arms or maybe the crown of the head to the bolster and allow yourself a little bit of a rest. You can have the crown of the head on the floor and both hands are traveling toward the back, like whatever back edge of the mat for you right now. Relax shoulders. Try not to overstretch, but it's a nice stretch for the hamstring. Don't lock your knees. Your body weight distributed equally. Again on the feet. And then let us lift the chest. Let's bring the heels closer. Maybe adjust it to the wide squat position. And I want you to take the bolster with you. Okay, and you can, there's only one handle here. So let us just hug the bolster this way. So take your toes out, knees out, and come into the squat, keeping the arms as straight as it feels right for you. So I would invite you to set your seat bones back as far as you can, but be body weight equal, and hold the bolster. So what's happening here? We have extra weight in front of you. That's what's usually happening in our everyday life. And we want to engage the posterior chain. So let's come up and rest. So I would like you to control your extension by tucking the tailbone just under a little bit and engaging the glutes more, okay? So let us go again. Coming into the squat, shoulders relax, and keep your glutes engaged better. Yes, even more, a little bit more. Lower abdomen in, maintain neutral spine, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's release. So go toes, heels, toes, heels. You can face the front of the mat. We will put so for you, bolster goes along the mat. I'm going against, and yeah, let's have a block. Let's have a block. As well, I'm gonna stepping with the right foot on the bolster. So block is heavy, and that's good. So keep it in front of your chest to start with. And first, just lift your left foot off the floor. And here, I want you to experiment. I want you to collapse to your hip and then come up. So notice how when you're collapsing, you're losing your balance, right? And then maybe you need to reset and immediately find how you engage in your glutes and how this creates hip stability and the lower abdomen is engaged and how you're becoming stable. And let's again relax it. Notice how your ankle immediately collapsing. Okay, reset one more time, engage the glute. Get your big toe, remember we talked about that earlier. Big toe pressed, ankle stable, hip stable, lower abdomen engaged. And let's bring the block overhead. Flex your left foot and see if you can maybe lift your knee up. Holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the arms, don't release the knee. And then release the knee. And come off the bolster, shake your leg. So I hope you were able to find how the glute is important for the hip stability and balance. So let us again play a little bit with the left. So left leg usually weaker. Ankle is weaker, hip is weaker, everything is wrong. So let us just first get set here. My left ankle was injured before, so that's why it's really unstable. I usually have a bit trouble to balance on the left ankle, so see how that feels for you. And let's again play like relaxing the glute and then engaging. Couple of times on your own, relaxing, kind of a collapsing on the hip and engaging. And last time when you maybe were having the foot on the floor, reset right away, engage the glute, press the big toe and lift the right foot, take the block overhead. So with a load overhead, remember that we told we don't want to collapse to the lower back. With this load, we use the core. Hip is engaged and support with the lower abdomen and then glute. Ankle is strong, and we will try to lift the knee here. We're working on the hip flexor on the right side, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the block. And then release the leg. Okay, you should have a burn in your glute. If you did good. So let us release the bolster again. Release the block, come to the front of the mat. Bring your arms on the sides of the hips. Exhale here. Take a couple of moments here with the closed eyes to scan your lower body. And see if you now understand better how to create the balance in the body. What is the components of the balance? How you need to engage your lower limbs and the core muscles to create the support to be balanced. Take a couple of long exhale and just release all the previous practice of the mind like you're starting right now. And let's flow. Inhale, lift the arms up. Hinging from the hips. Exhale, folding all the way down, release. Then slide the hands below the knees. Come into half fold. Then exhale, fold again. Let's have here a little bit extra time to stretch the hamstring and stretch the glutes. And then let's step the left foot back. Have a strong legs. Right away, lift the arms up. Hold here. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the left heel and open yourself into the warrior 2. Set yourself on the center. Be aware of the back leg, back arm, and then bring your gaze to the front. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a huge circle with the left arm and see if you can step into plank right away. Holding the plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees. Exhale, come down. Have your hands on the sides of the rib cage. Roll the shoulders back. Point and toes. Lift the chest up. Neutral spine. Very light touch with the hands. And then chin to the chest. Exhale, come into the cat stretch. Then tug the toes and come into the downward dog. Long spine. Taking the breath. Stepping the right foot closer to the midline and stepping the left foot forward into lunge. Back leg engage. Abdomen engage. Coming with the torso up, taking arms overhead. So not collapsing to the lower back. In a neutral as much as it's possible for the frontal plane here. Not coming into extension. Just imagine that you have a very heavy load overhead. Then dropping the right heel, opening the arms to the both direction, equally stretching the arms, using both legs. Shoulders relaxed, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Making a huge circle with the right arm, lifting the right heel, and see if you can slide the left leg back into plank. Push the floor, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees. Exhale, come down. Reset the hands to be on the sides of the rib cage if they're not there. And pointing toes. Lift the chest up. Maybe this time you can lift the base of the palms off the floor, having just the tip of the fingers, shoulders and external rotation. Neck is neutral. And then press the hands and come into child pose. The child pose could be practiced with the arms on the sides, palm facing the ceiling, and you have relaxed shoulders, rounded spine. Take a moment to rest here. Next exhale, lift your chest off. And I would like to introduce the pigeon pose with a bolster. So you have a bolster like 2 feet from the edge, maybe even more if you have a long mat from the front edge. And you're going to come with the right leg across and sit with the right hip. I might need to use the block as well, so have a block in front. So you would like to set your front shin as parallel to the bolster as possible, keeping the foot flexed, okay? So So this flex position is supporting your knee. And then using the both hands, you're tucking the back toe and you trying to lift to align your hips to face front. And then you just progress forward till your knee reaching the floor. I'm going to turn with the face to you. So you are sitting here with the hips flexed, parallel to the floor, foot flexed, and knee is supported. So move forward till the knee will touch the floor. Yes, all the way till the knee is touching the floor. And then from here, just adjusting your hips, trying to keep your left hip grounded here. And then maybe you're using that block for the forearm and dropping the head down. So I'm pretty sure I'm forcing you to have a little bit different opening in the hip that you will usually go there. So see if you can have your knee completely on the floor. So that's safe. So you move forward. If your hips are very flexible, you might be okay with the knee off the floor, but you might have a little bit of overstretching of the ligament. So that's why I would ideally want to have a knee on the floor like that. So you, your bolster is like almost under the left thigh. Yeah, so move forward, yes. And bring your ankle forward as well, yes. And flex the foot actively. This foot is flexed, yes. And yeah, and then just go for full fold forward. If you don't need the block, you're welcome to go all the way down to the floor here. It's a little bit different angle in your hip, and why? First of all, it's the best stretch for the IT band. That's the first thing. The other thing, if you go to the pigeon on the floor, you probably go all the time in exactly the same angle all the time, and you're stretching just the same strain angle on your ligaments and muscles. Here I forced you to a little bit different, so you feel like, oh, something new, you don't know, you like it or not, I understand. So just try to relax here. We're gonna hold that a little bit longer, and if your forehead needs support, you also can use the block for the forehead. This is a very good position for those who are extremely uncomfortable in pigeon pose. Also, this allows us to have less compression on the front knee, because when we have limitation in the hip external rotation, we are very often collapsing on the front knee, and that's not a very healthy position as well. You have the bolster, you have the space to play a little bit with the angle of the hips, and it's also a very good stretch for the SI joint. I'm gonna come and give you a bit of adjustment in your lower back, and you will see how that helping you to work on this area. So your best way to come here, just you want to get this stretch going down. So all this area is working in a safe way because you're not rotating in the lumbar spine right now. Yes, check your left shoulder because you're compensating the work of the right hip. I'll have here another 5 breaths and then we'll change. So when you're ready, you will just drop your right hip, bring your left leg in front and just stretch here. Both legs. And we'll build it on the other side. So sitting on the bolster, you're bending, you might already understand to have your knee and shin on the floor to start with, and then you just sending the right leg back, using your arms to rearrange where it feels okay. Might be tighter hip, usually would be tighter, and don't right away collapse. So start with maybe high position. Feel how your hip is opening, more defined position for the lower back, safe position for the lower back, and then after a bit you can start coming to the forearms again. Might stay in the forearms for a bit and then go all the way down. And here you check in your right shoulder, trying to be equal. So think of it 4 corners, 2 shoulders, 2 hips, and you try to be equal. You try to create a rectangular here. And again, I'll come and give you a bit of adjustment on this side as well, creating a bit of a diagonal stretch. Also in the other side, and relax the shoulder. Okay, here you are. So you notice, right, how you're tensing the opposite shoulder. Let us have another 5 breaths. And then very slowly start lifting the forehead, and again bring both legs in front, shake them. So you sit this way and you just slide your hips in front of the bolster and come all over the bolster. You might want to have a block for the back of the head. You will extend your legs of supported fish position, taking the arms wide, having a bit of a stretch of the abdomen area, stretch on the chest, maybe a bit of a stretch on the neck, stretch in the shoulders. So after a very challenging, in parts young practice, we come into some yin postures to calm the mind. Bringing awareness on the front of the body that most of the day is jammed with a fold forward with all the activities that we are involved. We'll have here another minute. Taking another exhale, then bend your knees, drop them to one side and come into seated position slowly through the side. So you will push the bolster to be under the knees. So sit here, then bring your arms in front, tuck the chin around the spine, and just very slowly try to find your core strength to control. Have here a moment when your lower back is on the floor, your abdomen engaged, and then very slowly release the spine. Adjust the bolster to be exactly under the bent knees. Set your knees wide, set your arms wide. Take a deep inhale and exhale through the mouth. Relax the lower back. Adjust the pelvis to make sure you are comfortable. Relax, make sure your neck is relaxed as well. And let's practice Shavasana here. Being focused on their warmth, fire that we generate in the area of the midsection of the body. You might even feel a bit of a glutes, but this time you want to relax them. Hopefully the pigeon stretch give us ability to relax the glutes after the work. The supported fish allow us to be more aware of the front chest opening with external rotation. Keep this all open, receiving the energy from surrounding, from the universe. Try not to allow your mind to rush you back into the thoughts of what you need to do after. Stay here and now for a bit. Allow a bit of a depth of exhale. And then add the movements and toes and fingers. Circle the wrists and ankles. You might bring your feet on the bolster. Reset your pelvis in a little bit of a little tucked position into a flexion. Bring your knees to your chest. Massage the lower back here. When you're ready, drop the knees to one side. And then with the help of the one arm, bring yourself into seated position. You're welcome to sit on the bolster, but maybe you would like to be on the floor in the cross-leg position. We had a nice stretch for the hips and lower back, so just check if you feel more space here to sit tall. And bring the hands in front of the heart. Take a moment to admit the end of the practice. Thank yourself for being able to set the time to come to the studio, roll off your mat, and follow my instructions. I hope you enjoyed it. Take a positive energy to be a guide for the rest of the evening. Namaste.